The death penalty is not about whether people deserve to die for the crimes they commit. The real question of capital punishment in this country is, do we deserve to kill? People are dying every day due to the unrightful killing of people who are not proven to be drug users. We, Group 6, decided to create a public service announcement to educate people and stop the war on drugs. According to HRW.org, since taking office on June 30, 2016, Philippine President Rodrigo Duterte has carried out a war on drugs that has led to the deaths of over 12,000 Filipinos, to date mostly urban poor. At least 2,555 of the killings have been attributed to the Philippine National Police. Duterte and other senior officials have instigated and incited the killings in a campaign that could amount to crimes against humanity. Human Rights Watch research has found that police are falsifying evidence to justify the unlawful killings. Despite growing calls for an investigation, Duterte has vowed to continue the campaign. Large-scale extrajudicial violence as a crime solution was a marker of Duterte's 20-year tenure as the mayor of Davao City and the cornerstone of his presidential campaign. On the eve of his May 9, 2016 election victory, Duterte told a crowd of more than 300,000, "If I make it to the presidential palace, I will do just what I did as mayor. You drug pushers, hold up men, and do-nothings, you better get out because I'll kill you." We, the Group 6, wanted to know the public that this unlawful killing is a crime. Before the pandemic happened, people were shot to death in public every day on the news. Maybe what happened in Davao somehow created peace there, but there are a lot of things that should have been considered before implementing this policy. The killings were not being justified, and a lot of police officials are using this policy as an excuse for their own benefit. In addition, killing in public is very brutal. You are taking one's life in front of people every day. Of course, trauma would occur, and people would be scared to death every day for their lives, whether they are drug users or not. And that is because police officials left a record of abusing their power. Just imagine the faces of the kids on the street playing, and suddenly witnessing a death of a person in front of them. Would of course cause a big trauma. I think there are other ways on how we should handle drug users instead of shooting them to death, knowing that some police officials out there are just killing random people. There are few people we interviewed who were once addicted to marijuana. The main reason behind their addiction is purely peer pressure. Some were not addicted, but they still sort with marijuana as their coping mechanism of getting out of reality. Sad reality, rather. There is also a film called Euphoria, where everyone in college is addicted to drugs. The deeper the story goes, the more you realize that most of the people who depend on drugs and are addicted have a sad story behind it. Every person has their own way of coping up with reality, but using drugs is not right. And so is killing these people. Here are the few reasons why war on drugs is inappropriate, ineffective, and irrelevant. First, the imposition of death penalty is anti-poor. Second, the imposition of death penalty does not deter the commission of crimes. Third, the imposition of death penalty is disproportionate to the crime. Fourth, the high judicial error rate found upon review by the Philippine Supreme Court. Fifth, the failure of prosecution agencies to provide admissible evidence in drug cases. And lastly, forensic science in drug investigations. Here are some of the lists we can do instead of the war on drugs policy. First, is the education program for all ages. We can also have a drug test kits for everyone. Third, rehabilitation. Instead of killing drug users and suppliers in an unconstitutional manner, the government should shelter all users in order to locate all high-ranking drug providers and drug protectors. There are also health-based rehabilitation programs adapted to Filipino culture and communities. Next is enforcement actions focused on reducing supply by investing time and resources on in-depth investigations that will result in the capture of high-level drug suppliers rather than low-level dealers. Any enforcement action, regardless of its target and the nature of the violation, must be conducted within the bounds of law and due process. Lastly, the reduction of demand by investing in prevention programs that are informed by a rigorous study of reasons for why individuals start and sustain drug use. The Philippines has a record of killing alleged drug users, pushers, and drug lords who have yet to be proven guilty. Unless the suspect is rich, influential, and powerful, many drug cases has been passed through the custom easily. The addicts or users should be rehabilitated, while those who sell, make, and smuggle must be apprehended. Philippines doesn't have a death penalty, and everyone is innocent unless proven guilty without a reasonable doubt. Drugs are just another symptom of what is the real problem. If we give these people better lives, they wouldn't have to resort to using drugs as an escape from their misery or a life of crime. The present administration's emphasis on violence and death as a means of winning the drug war is not the sole option. This choice is, in reality, a flagrant violation of international human rights of law. Drug abuse is a complicated subject that exposes users' human susceptibility to criminal exploitation. We argue that addressing these vulnerabilities in a balanced and comprehensive manner through health-focused, rights-based criminal justice responses, forensic science-based drug investigations, and determining the social causes of drug use as an alternative solution that requires cooperation across various sectors of society, while also emphasizing the fundamental value of human life. And that is the public service announcement Group 6 wanted to let the public. Thank you for listening.